Being cool is not cool. And I know you probably heard like a million people say that, but like, let me cook, okay? I used to care a ton about being cool. I stopped caring about in about like grade 10, and my life just like instantly got severely better. Let me show you how it goes. If you care about being cool, you're going to hang out with people who you think are cool. And from here, there is a split in the flow chart. Either they will like you or they won't. Since you care so much about being cool, you're going to hang out with them either way. But if they like you, it's going to be better for you, right? In the short term, you are going to be happy because you'll be getting that validation. But what happens if they don't like you? Then obviously you're going to get bullied and you're not going to be happy. But because you care so much about being cool, you're going to stay with them. And you might think like, that's stupid. If they don't like you, why would you stay with them? People stay with people who bully them all the time. I did. It's a common thing, okay? And it stems from wanting to be cool and wanting to be liked. You may notice all of this is to do with validation. We'll come back to this later, but I want to finish the flow diagram. You might think being happy is good, right? You're getting validated. Everyone likes you and you're cool. But what happens when you graduate? What happens once you graduate is that people will have slightly different kind of life goals as you. Your cool friends will be wanting to do something else, and that's because everyone is different. If you still care about being cool and trying to impress everyone, you're going to do what everyone tells you to do. Other people are going to tell you how to live your life, and you won't be successful by your own like metrics, as in you won't achieve what you really want to do with your life. And that will make you unhappy. Now, what is going to happen to these guys once they graduate? You'd expect it to be the opposite, right? Because they'll go from getting bullied and being unhappy to now not seeing those bullies again. Well, they now won't be seeing anyone again. So they'll still be unhappy because they'll be lonely. And if you're lonely, maybe you'll make friends. In that case, you'll basically just be back here because remember, you still care desperately about being cool. And so you're not going to live your own life. Other people are going to tell you what to do and you're going to do that. And you're not going to be successful in achieving your own goals, basically. What if you don't make friends? Then you're just stuck being lonely. And that makes you unhappy. So you can see that all paths, I guess there's a path like maybe you'll get really lucky, you'll be happy. But like, it's not really going to happen, okay? If you care too much about being cool and just wanting to impress everyone, needing validation from everyone else, all roads lead to unhappiness. And you do not want that. I just want to make a quick note. You see here how I talked about hanging out with cool people and they liking you, being popular basically, and then graduating and kind of falling off a bit. Every single video I've seen on like popularity is always talking about how like the popular kids after school just fail. I think that is a cope. I think that is kind of just, if you're unpopular, you tell yourself that to make yourself feel better. It might be like kind of true, but I don't think that is the right way to go about it. I think you might be popular, you might not. It doesn't matter. Either way, you're going to be unhappy just because you are caring about being cool. So why does wanting to be cool just lead to unhappiness? Well, it is because when you want to be cool, you are basically, what this means is you require validation from others. You don't give yourself love, and that means other people have to give it to you for you. And that means that if you're not constantly like impressing other people, making them like go, wow, this guy's like really impressive, you are not going to feel loved. You're not going to love yourself. And as a result, you'll feel like a total failure. You'll be unhappy. All you have to do to avoid this whole thing is just to give yourself that love. I know that sounds like kind of cringe, but literally it will make you happy. No matter what happens, no matter if you have friends or if you don't, no matter if you're successful and everyone's going, wow, look at that guy, he's so impressive, or you're like a homeless guy. Either way, you'll still love yourself. And you might be thinking like, if I'm homeless or something, if I've actually just failed at everything, why would I want to love myself? I don't deserve it. That is harmful. Stop it. Because think about it, it's your life. You can choose to be happy by loving yourself or not happy. You're obviously going to want to be happy, right? Like the whole point of not being homeless and everything is to be happy. Why not just be happy? Like just by loving yourself, just straight away, make yourself happy. Obviously, like it's more complicated than that. And if you do love yourself, a lot of people say like that makes it harder to improve. So like you're not going to work on yourself really hard. You're not going to do like 1,000 push-ups a day and get better and better, like David Goggins and stuff. You have to be hard and tough and like, well, actually, I think you can still improve yourself just as well through loving yourself, and it's more sustainable. But I can't really speak for that myself because I've never been like really unsuccessful, I guess, in typical terms. So I don't know. Remember, I'm just some guy yapping on the internet. Anyone can post a YouTube video. Remember that, okay? So how do we actually begin to love ourselves now that I've hopefully convinced you that that is something you should be doing? It starts by removing limiting beliefs. And another thing to do is to separate your past self from your present self. It is really hot right now. So to remove the limiting beliefs, there's two main ones that I think are like really bad. Limiting belief number one, if other people don't really like me, they don't always like compliment me, I am a failure. That is bad. You're not going to be able to love yourself if you're relying on other people. And this is kind of just a whole idea of relying on external validation. It all kind of hinges on that one belief. The second belief is that I have to be successful to be worth loving and to be not a failure. No, I don't think this is true. If you fail at stuff, again, like you can choose to be happy or you can choose to not be happy and not love yourself. Why would you not just choose the first one? Even if you're a failure, just love yourself. Like it's cringe, but please, it will help you. And then when it comes to separating your past and present self, this kind of also helps separate yourself from failure. If you used to suck at something, like you used to not get good grades, you used to be kind of like lazy or ugly, whatever, but now you're better, even slightly better, you are your present self, right? You are that better person. And you're the type of person who can improve yourself. That's pretty cool, right? And again, you don't need to like be successful to love yourself, but I'm sure makes it easier. And separating your past and present self is a way to kind of see how much progress you made and how good you are now. If you used to suck, that is not you, and you don't need to worry about it, okay? And you might think, oh, I actually haven't gotten any better, so these two are the same people. You probably have improved more than you think. If you actually reflect on it, watch some old videos of yourself or something, you are a lot better now. You learn so much over time, like there is no way that you haven't improved that much in at least some areas of your life. Maybe you haven't improved in every area. You might think that you haven't improved because you're comparing yourself to others too much, and that is preventing you from seeing your own improvements. Another thing is you might say, I have improved, sure, but I barely improved. I've got so much further to go before I get good at this thing, like whatever it is, like your social skills, whatever. There's this thing called the end of history illusion. I want to tell you guys about it. Basically, they did a study. They got people to report how much they felt they changed in the last 10 years and how much they thought they'd change in the next 10. And basically everyone accurately reported like, yeah, I've changed a lot in the last 10 years. But then when it came to the next 10, they reported that they weren't really going to change much. And then 10 years later, they asked them again. And actually, they found that they did change in that 10 years. So basically, everyone says like, yes, I've changed in the past, but I'm not going to change in the future. And that is not true. We've seen the evidence. People do change and they continue to change throughout their entire life. It is more concentrated early on, but you still change more than you think. So if you work on these things, you will hopefully be able to love yourself. And when you do this, you don't need to be cool. You will be free from that like flow diagram or the unhappiness that results from just wanting to impress others, wanting to be cool, coping with getting bullied to do it, changing like how you live your life, changing the careers you pursue just to be cool. And it all stops by just doing this. If I haven't convinced you enough that you need to do this, watch this video.